What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Hankeshh, and we are back with another Raw Roundup. It's been a while, but I'm back. We're making videos again. Let's go. This is a series where we talk about everything that happened on every episode of Raw. I talk about stuff that I liked, the stuff that I didn't like, and then I like to hear from you guys in the comments about what you guys liked, what you guys didn't like as well. So please do leave a comment down below. I love reading them. I love interacting with the community. That's the whole point of making these videos, is to interact with the community. So please do leave a comment. Also like this video, share it, whatever. Tell everybody that I'm making videos. Hankeshh is back. Let's go. Also, please follow my TikTok. I post other wrestling content on there, as well as my reactions to every episode of Raw, SmackDown, Premium Live Events, all that stuff. Now that my plug is done, let's jump right into the topics. On this episode of Raw, AJ Styles challenges Gunther for another match because the last match that they had, Gunther tapped out, but the ref didn't see it, and so then Gunther took advantage, defeated AJ, made AJ look like a little bitch, all that stuff, whatever, you know. And now AJ wants his leg back. And Gunther, being the little conniving, little shitty heel that he is, he says that the only way that he'll face AJ Styles one more time is if he puts his career on the line. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this took me aback a little bit. This shocked me because we knew going into the year that this was gonna be the last year that AJ Styles wrestles. He said it in the lead up to his match with John Cena last year, that 2026 is gonna be his last year as an active wrestler. But what I didn't expect is that it was gonna come this quickly. I didn't think that it was gonna be at the Royal Rumble. I thought at least we'd have another Mania, at least we'd have another, you know, at least a good 8 to 10 months, right? Because I didn't know if it was going to be at the end of the year or not. And now it really does put me in a scenario because I love the heel work that Gunther is doing, stepping back out of kayfabe, right? I love the work that Gunther is doing, but I also don't want AJ Styles to retire right now, bro. Like, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love AJ Styles. I've been a fan of AJ Styles since the early 2010s. I don't want him to retire, man. He's good, man. I love his matches. So yeah, it really puts me in a dilemma, but I think that's what I love about this story a lot, right? When you are conflicted in the storylines, in what you want out of the story, that makes for good television, that makes for a good product. So WWE is absolutely killing it with AJ Styles versus Gunther, and I'm very excited to see their match at the Royal Rumble. Also, right before the whole AJ stuff was going on, Gunther also declared for the Royal Rumble. So I think he's pulling double duty at the Royal Rumble, and that will be very interesting to watch. While we're on the topic, we also had a few other Royal Rumble announcements. Jey Uso announced that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, we mentioned Gunther announced himself in the Royal Rumble. On the women's side of things, we also had Asuka, Rhea, Io, and all three of the Judgment Day members, the Lady Judgment Day members, also declare for the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble lineup is kind of getting stacked out here as well, so it's gonna be a good Royal Rumble season. I'll tell you that. Now, the next thing that I actually really want to talk about, because it was very entertaining throughout the entire show, is the back and forth that Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman had all night. Man, it was some of the funniest stuff that I've ever watched. The chemistry between these two is absolutely amazing. All night long, you had both of them going at it, trying to get the better of each other. You know, Adam Pearce started off getting the better of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman clapped back, and Adam Pearce came back, and then Paul Heyman, and it just made for very, very entertaining segments. I said it while I was reacting to the show. You can go find it in my TikToks that I could watch an entire 2-hour Raw episode of just Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman going at it, because it is comedy gold. It is so entertaining. I love it. And while we're with Paul Heyman, let's talk about The Vision. The Vision had a match against the Luchadors, Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Rey Fenix. I'm not gonna lie, as The Vision was making their entrance to the ring, I thought this was gonna be like a throwaway match. Just The Vision was gonna get the upper hand. The Luchadors are gonna, you know, something's gonna happen and they're gonna lose, and then the feud is gonna continue. Obviously, the feud's gonna keep continuing. But to my surprise, it was a very entertaining match. I love the dynamic between the Luchadors and The Vision. Obviously, lucha wrestling is very fun to watch, very fast-paced, very high-flying. It's gonna be entertaining, but the way that the match ended, with Adam Pearce also being out there to make sure no funny business goes on, and then the brass knuckles was going on there. Adam Pearce stood on business, took the brass knuckles away, showed like, hey, Paul, this is no good. And then he leaves it on the ring, and then the Luchadors take it, and they actually use it. It was a very entertaining ending to the match. I loved it. I enjoyed that match so much more than I thought I was going to. I really want the rest of the members of the Vision to kind of build out some character. Obviously, Bronson Reed has his character. Logan Paul does have his character. Mainly Austin Theory, I guess. Austin Theory needs to build out some kind of character for himself in the Vision. Because when Braun Breaker is not there, the Vision just kind of seem bland, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean they're not talented. I do love watching the Vision wrestle every single week. A Logan Paul match on weekly television is always a plus. I love to see Logan Paul wrestling. He is looking like more of a full-time guy, so I can appreciate that a lot, despite kind of the shitty stuff that he does outside of the ring. Speaking of shitty stuff, let's talk about that Intercontinental Championship match between Maxxine Dupri and Becky Lynch. The big talking point coming out of this match was the return and the turn of Natalya. Natty Neidhart is here on the main roster, and I am so for it. Natalya was ringside for Maxine's match and ended up costing her the match, putting Becky's foot on the rope after Maxine had her dead to rights. She was about to become the champion, and Natalya just screws her over. As Maxine is just breaking down in heartbreak in the ring, Natalya calls her pathetic, and as Maxine watches Becky leave with the title up the ramp, Natalya attacks Maxine Dupree and shows this ferocity, shows this new kind of side to Natalya that they haven't seen on the main roster. But if you saw the clips of her in Japan or any matches she had in Japan and even AAA, she has a very aggressive side to her. And if we get a version of Natty Neidhart on the main roster, I guarantee you she could have a great tail end of her career as this vet, as this aggressive vet. Hell, it could even result in a good IC championship run, especially after Becky loses it, probably to AJ Lee. She'd be a great person to get the IC title after it's done with this whole Becky AJ feud. I think she'd be the perfect candidate to help really flesh out that mid card of the women's division. Also, Maxine Dupree, shout out Maxine, the work that she's been putting in. If you look at her wrestling style now compared to how it was just a year ago, she has grown leaps and bounds. She's looking incredible in the ring. Like I've said in the past, she's not going to give you a barn burner match. She's not going to give you a 5-star classic Bryan Danielson type match, but she's having great matches with Becky Lynch, and she even had like decent matches with Ivy Nile and other mid-carders are in the Raw division. Just shout out Maxine. I want to sing her praises in this video. Now, before we talk about that main event match, because trust me, we're going to get there. That main event match was something. Let's talk about some of the small things, that happened on Raw, other stuff that happened on Raw. We had a match between El Grande Americano and Javon Evans, and that ended in a medical stoppage. That was really unfortunate. I think Javon Evans got injured, which I was kind of mad because it happened during commercial break. I'm a United States viewer on Netflix. I got commercial break. I came back. Javon Evans was injured. I was really sad. It kind of hit me by surprise. I was not a fan of that. But yeah, speedy recovery to Javon Evans. I really do hope that he comes back sooner rather than later, especially because he could have a big performance in the Royal Rumble if he's in that thing. We also had a backstage segment with Bayley and Lyra showcasing their chemistry. I think both of them declared for the Royal Rumble during this segment as well. Can't remember if it was both or just Lyra. I think both. Both of them, I think, declared for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be amazing. They're also in it. We also had a backstage segment with Asuka and Kairi Sane. I'm glad they didn't forget about that storyline. They had Asuka absolutely gaslighting the fuck out of Kairi Sane. Asuka just blaming Kairi Sane about why they lost and all that stuff, and Kairi being like, please stop. No, I'll make it up to you. I'll make sure you win the Royal Rumble, And then this is going to set her up for more heartbreak, and Asuka going to get mad at her. Kairi Sane's eventually going to turn. I'm so excited for that face turn. An Asuka versus Kairi Sane match at WrestleMania? Sign me up, bro. That will feed families for generations, man. I love Japanese style wrestling, so that will be probably one of my favorite matches of Mania weekend if they do set that up for Mania. And finally, to end it off, let's talk about that main event match between Finn Balor in his hometown of Ireland, bringing back the old theme song. I was so hyped for that. Versus CM Punk, the current World Heavyweight Champion, and still your World Heavyweight Champion, because Finn Balor lost in his hometown against CM Punk, which was very, very unfortunate. Going into the match, I kind of knew that this was just going to be like a CM Punk wins, just a good title defense under his belt for this run. But after hearing him bring back his old theme song, after hearing that crowd that popped for him, being in his hometown of Ireland, the electricity of that match, I thought Finn Balor was going to walk away with that title. I thought we were finally going to get that Finn Balor World Championship run that we were supposed to get 10 years ago, but he injured his shoulder. It was amazing. It was electric. Like I said, I thought CM Punk was going to win. After hearing the crowd, it had me invested in Finn Balor. I thought Finn Balor was about to win that thing. I thought they were going to have him win, and then 2 weeks later, just drop it back to Punk. I would have been so happy with that. I wanted to hear that pop of that hometown Irish crowd. Just lose it for Finn Balor, man, because he really does deserve it. But alas, yeah, CM Punk won. It was an amazing match. The crowd just leveled it up even more. Crowds are very important for matches. Let me tell you that for sure, because this match was something else. After the match, CM Punk goes over, shakes Finn Balor's hand, raises his hand, shows a sign of respect for Finn Balor. And I think it's finally time that we turn Finn Balor face, because how can you boo this man? I mean, you can boo this man because he's a very good heel. He plays a heel very well. But man, I just want to cheer for Finn Balor. I really want him to get that world championship, have that run with it that he was denied 10 years ago. He is genuinely one of the best wrestlers of all time. That NXT run with Finn Balor, that New Japan Finn Balor back in the day, man, he was electric to watch. He was one of the best. And I feel like he's kind of lost that spark in WWE, especially post-COVID time. I don't know. It's just not the same vibe with Finn Balor. But tonight, this match, it really brought back that vibe of Finn Balor can be one of the greatest wrestlers in the company. Scratch in the company, in the world. So yeah, I want to see a Finn Balor face turn. Build up to it naturally. Let's do Dom versus Finn. If Dom can get cleared and have a Mania match for the IC belt, let's run Dom versus Finn. But instead of Dom being the face, let's make Finn the face, man. He deserves it. I want to cheer him, man. Yeah. As you can tell, I was very passionate about Finn during this match. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers everything. I can't really remember if there's anything else that I need to talk about, but I think that covers everything. So yeah, that's the Raw roundup. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. If you made it this far, leave a comment. Comment down below. I made it all the way. And also tell me your opinions on Monday Night Raw. I'm very curious. I want to read those opinions. I want to interact with the community. I want to know what you guys like as well. That's the best part about social media, making these videos, making these TikToks, is I get to interact with other wrestling fans, something that I didn't get to do for the first 20 years of my wrestling fandom. So please do leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, check out my TikTok. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. And it won't be 2 months from now. It will be sometime this week. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.